This Week in Golf podcast, and let's get right into it. We are going to talk about the RBC Heritage Classic that just concluded. This week is the Zurich Classic, and a little bit about LIV, and this and that. RBC Heritage Classic just ended. It was a great field, and Matthew Fitzpatrick won his second PGA win. He won the U.S. Open last year, if you'll recall, and now he has won this tournament. And good for him. Good young player from England. And it was a great field. Obviously an elevated event, so you had everybody there, all the top players in the world, including Jon Rahm, who just won the Masters. But as he has stated, he's a total golf nerd. He loves golf so much that he had committed to it. And so he played in the tournament. And he did not do all that bad. I think he was about 10 or 11 under. Fitzpatrick won at 17 under, so he was just out of the top 10, and him and Scheffler. So all your big names were there except for Rory. Rory backed out. Not sure why. Perhaps he's exhausted. Perhaps he just wanted to go back home. Who knows? Anyways, Matt Fitzpatrick won $2.2 million for the win, and he won over Jordan Spieth. So Spieth actually won last year, and Spieth and Fitzpatrick had tied at the end of regulation, both at 17 under par. And then on the third playoff hole, Fitzpatrick hit a shot, a 9-iron from 179 yards. I'll let that sink in for the average player. A 9-iron from 179 yards, and hit it to about 6 inches away, and won the tournament, which was good for him. A little unfortunate for Spieth, because Spieth had actually, on the first playoff hole, hit it to about 12 feet away, lips out a putt. They both, on the second playoff hole, they both hit it to about 15 feet. Neither one of them made the putt. And then, although Spieth had a better angle at that, he had an uphill putt. So Spieth had two good opportunities to win it, and he did not. He let him hang around, and eventually Fitzpatrick hit it to 6 inches away and takes home the title. But really a good final day of the tournament. The last grouping was Cantlay, Fitzpatrick, and Spieth. Cantlay lost to Spieth in the playoff last year, and then now Spieth has lost to Fitzpatrick. Cantlay was in it for a little while. He had a couple bogeys on the back nine, I think 13 and 14, so that took him out. And then Fitzpatrick was just kind of patient. He was 2 strokes back, but he ends up birdieing 15 and 16 for the tie, and ultimately wins it in the playoffs. So a really good performance from him. And just some other notables in the field. Xander, who's been playing pretty good all season, at least from a top 10 perspective. Xander was in there. He was fourth, tied for fourth. And then the other two names that I'll mention are Theegala and Cam Young. I didn't see Cam Young's name in there this weekend, but Theegala is the rookie, and Cam Young was the rookie of the year last year. So, or maybe they're both in their second year. But either way, neither one has won, but they've been very close to sniffing a victory recently in the last year or so. So kind of putting it out there to everyone out. Who do you think will win first? Cam Young or Theegala? I like that swing of Cam Young's, the way he takes it back real slow and pauses at the top. But Theegala is a very likable fella himself. So either way, hopefully they both get a win this year, and we'll see what happens with that. The other thing from the RBC Heritage is I did make a video of Fitzpatrick's swing timed to the Golf BPM music, and he's got a nice swing, and I was a little surprised when I did it, but his swing times to our fastest music, which is 184 BPMs, which I've tried to swing it. I can't even swing it that fast, but he really, what I noticed about it when I was making the video today is that his body moves really fast. So maybe I need to move my body faster. I'm always trying to speed up my arms, so maybe it's just the body movement. Body movement, body movement. It's a Beastie Boys song. Yeah, and then just the final thing that I noticed, kind of obviously the big difference between the Masters and the RBC Heritage is like the way the fans yell. You just don't see it at the Masters, and there was a lot of yelling going on, particularly late in the day, and in the playoff hole, on the first playoff hole on 18, one of the fans screams out like, I don't know if it was Baba Booey or You the Man or something like that, right in Spieth's backswing. So luckily Spieth hit it in the fairway. But I mean, the guy yelled literally. I mean, I'm no fan of the yelling in general, but if you're going to do it, wait till the guy's made contact, for God's sakes. I think they had a few too many cocktails up there in the suite. Anyhow, something you won't see at the Masters. In fact, they'll kick you out for life for that. Okay, moving on. Oh, a quick note here on the Korn Ferry Tour last week. Spencer Levin won, and the only reason I bring this up is because he went to the same high school I went to, one of the high schools I went to in Elk Grove, and I don't know how old he is. He's got to be almost probably 45 now. He qualified on the Monday for the Korn Ferry event, and it's called the Veritex Bank Classic, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's the Veritex Bank. Who knows what the name of it is. Anyways, he qualified on Monday, and he ends up winning the tournament. So he hasn't had status in the PGA for 6 years. He did win a play-in tournament for Torrey this year for the Farmers Open, but he got last place in the PGA event. So I don't know what that entitles him to with the Korn Ferry win. Maybe he gets some status on the PGA Tour, or will get invited to some events now. So good for him. And this week is the Zurich Classic, which is in New Orleans, and it's a little bit different format. It's 82-man teams, so 160 players total, 2-man teams, and it is the rounds 1 and 3 are best ball or best ball scoring. So yeah, I guess both players play out the hole and they take the best score. And then the second and fourth rounds are alternate shots. So the first day best ball, second day alternate shot, third day best ball, fourth day alternate shots. Last year, the champions were Xander, Schauffele, and Patrick Cantlay. As I mentioned earlier, both played well last week. They're playing together again this week. So they appear to be the odds-on favorite. Some of the other teams of notable, not necessarily the full best field in the world for this event, but still some good players in there. Another good team is Sam Burns and Billy Horschel. Another one is Collin Morikawa and Max Homa. Si-Woo Kim and Tom Kim. And then Sungjae-Im and Kevin Mitchell. That's a pretty good team. But my dark horse team to win it all is Harris English and Tom Hoge. You heard it here first. Harris English and Tom Hoge. Oh, and the sponsor exempt team to keep an eye out for is John Daly and David Duval. John Daly and David Duval. David Duval once shot 59. You know, I mean, he's in his 50s now. John Daly's obviously in his 50s. But who knows? Maybe some smoking and drinking. Maybe they can smoke a few drives and make a few putts. And then the final topic is LIV Golf. Just real quick here, LIV Golf is in Australia this week. And we'll see what they can do with the international audience, if they can potentially grow the game in Australia or get some hype around LIV Golf. We shall see. They did post a photo of a par 3, and they built a grandstand around the entire par 3. It's nowhere near as big as the Waste Management, but they built it all the way around nonetheless, so we'll see if they get some sort of crazy crowd. I think it's the 16th hole there. So that's This Week in Golf. We'll talk to you next week. Hey, it's Jeremy Callahan, and thanks for listening to This Week in Golf. Make sure and hit subscribe so you can get all the latest news and analysis from Golf BPM.